how are cars designed? Today, we are in the UK. Behind me is the Tata Motors Tech and Design Center. Now, Tata Motors has 3 design studios. The one in the UK, where we'll take a quick walk around through. The second in Pune in India, and the third in Italy. That's where all the new cars, SUVs are designed. Today, we'll take a walk around on the design center, talk to you about what all goes in there, look at the design labs, the clay modeling labs, and of course, have a look at the Curvv, which was done right here. This building has actually been 5 years in the making. It is housed in the University of Warwick campus. This is a Tata Motors building, actually a Tata Group building. And there are 5 stakeholders here. Tata Motors Design, Tata Motors Engineering, there's Jaguar Land Rover also out here, Warwick Manufacturing Group, which is part of the larger Tata Group, and also Agratas, their new battery manufacturing firm. Collaboration is the name of the game today. So both design and engineering sit out here so that there is no friction and both bring in their best ideas. Also, the Warwick University, they have an auditorium over here. The campus is just behind, so they have access to talent out here. So a lot of students do intern, and plus this is a great place to get solid engineering talent, and that's why they are based over here. And of course, they collaborate with the studios in both Italy as well as Pune. So every morning they have a call with all the teams. In fact, projects are done where you are given an open competition, all the studios apply, and then finally the studio that actually wins the competition, the internal competition, then works on the final end product. Which studio worked on the Tata Curvv? I'm not sure. Let's go and ask Martin.
To be honest, all the studios compete. So the designers, it's an open forum. It's not necessary that the winning studio gets to do the car in production. The program is already allocated to a studio, but the winning designer gets to finish it. The exterior actually was developed by a designer from Italy.
Okay.
So that was the winning design, and the interior was from a designer in Pune.
Okay.
And the car was developed at initial stage, here. And then, of course, it was handed over to the Pune studio to land the plane, so to speak.
And the Italian designer won it because more exposure to maybe the Urus?
It could be. Definitely, they had this sort of sporty DNA. So the proposals from Italy were very dynamic, very emotional. And just caught the spirit of what the product should be, and very sharp, very clear, very easy to understand.
We got our first look at the Tata Sierra concept along with the Harrier EV and the Curvv at the 2023 Auto Expo. This was an important step showcasing the future design language that Tata Motors will be employing for cars going forward. So this is not the car that we've come here to have a look at. That is actually behind those doors. We'll have a look at the Curvv in a bit. But the reason why I want to take a break and talk about the Sierra is that isn't this such a handsome SUV? This is obviously the EV concept that was shown at the Auto Expo that made waves at that Auto Expo. There will obviously be a combustion version also. Look at the details, the flush door handles, all of that is there on the Curvv, which we'll talk about. Nice 20-inch wheels, that iconic glass line that was there on the original Sierra. But on this, you have the practicality of 5 doors. So it's not just a 3-door version, which was that limiting factor about the earlier Sierra. And remember, that earlier Sierra, that was the very first SUV in the country. Even the rear, very smart, upright, solid proportions. Really, is there even one line that is wrong on this? Let us know in the comments. This obviously is your EV charging port. I don't know if this is an actual car or a styling bug. This is probably a styling bug, but such a cool car. I can't wait for Tata Motors to bring it. Looks like it's going to be next year. It won't be this year, but it can't come soon enough. So this is what they call the showroom, and this is where the models are presented for the media, for the management to review. And of course, this is the SUV, the car that we have come to see. This is the Curvv, the SUV coupe, and this was designed here. So the Curvv, the home is the Tata Design Studio in the UK. The Tata Design Studio in the UK employs around 100 designers who work with a similar number of engineers. And it is here where concepts are dreamt up and come to reality. The designers painstakingly sketch out concepts which are then modeled, rendered and engineered and are then made ready for production. This is the space where the clay modeling is done. Now, the Curvv that you see behind me, it might look like a real car, but this is actually a clay model. If you come over to the front, that's where you can see it. So this is in clay. It's obviously been painted on the side, so that's how they review the design. And on the clay side, this is how they work on the car, adjust the lines, the angles, the curves. It's all like to millimeter perfection. If you come over to the sides, so this is the scanner that's actually scanning the side, the one where changes have been made. And then this can be replicated on the other side using the milling machine that you see behind me. So that's over here. So this milling machine can actually mill a full-size model. This is maybe 1:3 scale model where it is doing all the detailing, but this can mill an entire car. And down in the basement at the technical center, they have a much bigger milling machine which can actually mill the entire car overnight. So this is how small little changes are done. If you can see, it's actually craftsmanship. So our friend here, he's working on the tailgate of the Curvv, and by shaving small little bits, that's how you get the right angle, the right curvature. In fact, this is also interesting. Now, this is their tool chest, and every modeler have their own tool chest because this is specific to each person. They know what to use and how they work with it. And it's obviously a very painstaking art, but this is craftsmanship. And this is how Tata Motors, they develop their designs. Management reviews them over here. If, for instance, you think this is too high, so this entire bit can be chopped off, it can be refashioned, you review it, say it doesn't work, add some more clay, refashion it, and that's how designs are progressively evolved. So this is the virtual reality studio, one of the newest setups here at the design center. Out here, the surfacing is being worked on. So why is that important? That's for the interplay of light and shadows. So how you see a car, perceive it in the real world, that finishing is done here. Panel gaps, shut lines, the curvature of the smallest elements, all that is worked upon out here. So actually you can see the shut line. So making sure that you have uniform and tight panel gaps, all of that engineering work is done here. And then the data set is then sent out when the final version is production ready. So you can zoom in on the components here, or on the big screen, you can check out the entire car. You can put it in a reality model. So this looks like, say, maybe the parking lot at the BIC, and see how the car looks, both from the outside as well as from the inside. So you can zoom into the small little components. All the reviews are done here. And in fact, they have a really cool setup that has just come on stream, and that is the virtual reality headsets. So out here, they have this buck where you have the seats. Now, the seats can be moved for different hip points for a sedan, a hatchback, an SUV. You can even add a further third row at the back. You can move the IP level, and then you sit on the seats, you wear the virtual reality headsets, and you can look into the smallest details of the interiors, the interplay of light on the different elements that are used. You can do design reviews, you can fix little problems. So that's done here, and all that does is speeds up the design as well as improves the quality of the end product. Then you have the prototype rooms where samples for everything, including the paints and colors that will be used on the cars, are tested. The designers and engineers also have a thorough selection process for what the materials of the interiors will be made up of, which includes the seats, upholstery, and a whole lot more. And finally, this is the outdoor viewing area where the full-size scale models are reviewed, all the details are looked at, and of course, a car always looks better in natural light. In fact, personally, I think the Curvv looks better in natural light than in the showroom. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. And if you've enjoyed our quick tour of Tata Motors Design Center in the UK, let us know in the comments whether we should do more content like this. Thank you guys for watching.